real estate has created the biggest number of millionaires and arguably billionaires across the world. When you talk about real estate, we're talking land, we're talking physical structures and property, we're talking developments, physical developments, okay?
I have 3 rental properties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is good. You have to start somewhere. I started with 1 when I was the only tenant. Now we're getting close to 400. And I think Sunshine Properties now, how many units now?
Big and small, maybe
175 units. Okay. And some of those are shopping malls. Some of those are business units. Okay, so me, I believe in not just talking the talk, but walking the talk. So you'll see the kind of people that I surround myself with. And I'll be bringing, the good thing about this program is I'll be bringing experts.
This is what you call development plan. Development plan is but I don't believe I will approach. I know how to approach how to get plowing field. Can't go in 5-10 years. You have an industrial area or a CBD. So, let's say, carry here, plowing field, not here, industrial area. So, those are the things that you need to appreciate, and you also learn through the course. For a you don't just look at what is written on the certificate. Also go further and research in the future.
I have blundered. Sometimes I've blundered spectacularly. So it gives me great pleasure sometimes to share where I've messed up so that you don't make the same messed up. Sometimes I've hit the rake. It's so hit in the rake. Like, the rake and I'll be like, ding! Well, yeah, sometimes I've stepped on the rake and it hit me right on the head. And sometimes I've just lost deals over just the ego going crazy with me. I lost a deal, Kokanya, big deal, and I always cry when I drive past that property because my ego just took over and I said no when I could have been super rich by just paying extra 20 grand. I refused over 20 grand, which today is pocket money. Then of course it seemed like a lot of money. So it's one of the regrets that I say. So I teach you how to work on yourself to realize, look, the current sacrifice that you are making vis-a-vis the long-term benefits when you practice the art of delayed gratification. Delayed what? Yes, it's very important in real estate, delayed gratification. What I discovered as a businessman over the years, we are in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. Although we are in the midst of this vast ocean, we are not taking full advantage of this material prosperity which is available to us.
This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond.
Okay, welcome to the Pond Restaurant. The Pond is one of our entities which form the Mogobe Incorporated Group of Companies. One of the companies that have been privileged and honored by the Almighty to set up in this country, which have been running over some time. Let me just give you the philosophy behind the program. The idea is that after you've heard what I have to say, after we've shared a few points and shared the curriculum, you'll be able to make an educated and informed decision. Is this something that you want to invest in? Is this something you want to spend the time, your precious God-given time, irreplaceable, valuable time? Is this something you want to spend on something like this, on real estate? Again, that is the objective. What I discovered as a businessman over the years, we are in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. although we are in the midst of this vast ocean, we are not taking full advantage of this material prosperity which is available to us. With the result that a lot of foreign people, a lot of non-Botswana have come in. In fact, one of my guests who's promised to come a little later is a non-Botswana who tells me the story of how he came about 2001, and he runs a multi-millionaire real estate company called Sunshine Properties. Find a seat, madam. Feel comfortable, find a seat. Which he's now been running for several decades. The company has grown such that it's as big as, it's almost as big as our company. You know how it is. So, in this vast ocean, out of our comfort zones. The objective of this program is to get you out of your comfort zone, which tends to mire us in that comfort where we don't do anything to change our circumstances. As someone who in 1999 or 2000 read the book Yahareki Osaki, which changed the lives of many multimillionaires in the real estate space, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I would recommend for you to read. In fact, Hasitile joined me. The book that we are going to recommend, more than Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Kibukaya, the cash flow quadrant. So, how do we emancipate ourselves from this ignorance of these resources around us, these opportunities around us? One way is through readership, one way is mentorship. What I experienced is that I used to speak in various forums over the years. But every time when I step out of the stage, people want to be mentored. So since I cannot mentor everyone on one-on-one, this was an idea that I conceived. I thought, no, let me mentor people as a group. And you, if you join, you will have the privilege of joining the 8th cohort, the real estate mentorship program. I also have had the good fortune of starting a company called Angel Network Botswana. Angel Network is Botswana is an entrepreneurship organization which helps startups in Botswana. I realized at the same time that the ecosystem in Botswana is a bit dwarfed, it's a bit down. It needed resuscitation. It needed, I don't know if I'm using the right word even. It needed an awakening. So 2000, I formed a company, taking advantage of my experience over many decades as a lawyer. I formed a company limited by guarantee, which we called Angel Network Botswana. And I had 2 Indian brothers of mine join me to form that company, which today is still very much active and it's still growing. We presently have about 50, when I last checked, 50 entrepreneurs. By that I mean people with excess liquidity within our very marketplace. By Lahore, they have excess cash which they want to invest in startups. We created systems. I myself became the chairperson of the mentorship committee of Angel Network Botswana. Through that through that committee, I have been able to shepherd quite a number of entrepreneurs who are today running successful businesses, in some cases multi-millionaire businesses. I mean, I'll mention 2 or 3 names. One is Organic Naturals. The founder started from nowhere. We trained her. She's employing so many people. When I last checked, she was in 68 pharmacies across the country. She started from -0, which is where everything starts. Everything starts from -0. I often get excited. Even God started from nowhere. I get it. Genesis 1:1 says that there was darkness. There was depth, there was darkness, there was chaos when the world was created in the beginning. So everything starts from chaos. Everything starts from nothingness. So one of the messages that I keep propagating, because most of the time the person who's very quick to limit themselves is ourselves. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. I think a philosopher called Hugo said, I met the enemy, and behold, the enemy is us. So sometimes you get to that realization because you will say, you're not educated enough, you say you're not young enough, you say you're not old enough, you say you're not mature enough, you say you're not smart enough. That way the opportunities and then they fly away. Okay? So, let's talk specifically about real estate, right? Real estate has created the biggest number of millionaires and arguably billionaires across the world. When you talk about real estate, we're talking land, we're talking physical structures and property, we're talking developments, physical developments. Okay? If you acquire the skills to create, to bring into existence something like this. The first thing that we focus on in the program is what I call real estate success mindset. We find that sometimes we need more or less a mini brain transplant. We need to learn some new ideas and then unlearn some assumptions that don't work for us in real estate. I always say to my mentees, and I'll soon be saying this to you, that the greatest and most precious piece of real estate, the most and precious piece of real estate is the one between your ears. What that means is that you need to work on that one first before if anything can manifest. You need to work on your mindset first and foremost before anything that you create can manifest, because we are normally our worst enemies, and I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you. The good thing about me is that I found out techniques, systems and methodologies for overcoming that initial resistance, that overcoming that tendency. I call it a reptilian brain, and I think I read it somewhere where psychologists say we have a reptilian brain that resorts to fight and flight. Everything new wants you to fight it or fly away from it. We have to overcome it to learn. So some of these ideas I've actually highlighted in my book, and let me take an opportunity to shamelessly plug my book, which is called Nuggets of Grit. I share my story from the two cattle posts, Mahumalebe le Makatanyani. Makatanyani, I grew up there under my grandfather's tutelage, and Mahumale, where I grew up there under my own father's tutelage. The lessons I learned, I share them there, and I explain how I applied some of them in real estate and in business. So mindset change is the most important thing. We never lose sight of the fact of your why. And one of the things that I do, and I do more so on the entrepreneurship side, is the importance of having a vision board and having working on your why. Why are you doing what you do? You need to have a why, because inevitably you're going to meet resistance, you're going to meet negativity, you're going to meet hardship. So if you don't have a strong enough why, and if you don't have a vision that drives you, you will not be able to overcome it. That's what I'm going to spend the first 3 sessions. We're going to have a total of 12 sessions over a period of 12 months. In between, there will be books, there will be podcasts, there will also be movies that I prescribe for you to go and watch and come and present in the class. Number 2, we're going to talk about personal development for real estate. What is personal development? Personal development is really an effort to direct your brain power, to direct your thinking, to direct your method of approaching life in a particular direction. For you to be a multi-millionaire real estate investor, because as Mr. Ketshabile will testify when he talks to you, we're very shameless. We say our objective is to become multi-millionaire real estate investors. So let me do a little experiment. Say after me, I'm going to say the following words. I'm going to say, what are you? And you're going to respond with a loud voice. I'm a multi-millionaire real estate investor. Even when you don't believe it, you just say it. What are you? There are 3, 4, 5 of you that I see keeping their mouths tight shut. We're about to change that. What are you? Okay, the thing about you as a human being is that you cannot cheat yourself. You cannot become something that every cell in your body, every piece of DNA in you does not align with. So it has been discovered that you have to more or less get yourself. You know, some people use incantations, some call it repetition, some meditate, but the methodology is to get all of you to align with the rest of you. Number 3, my personal real estate journey. Throughout the course, I share my bloopers and blunders. I have blundered, sometimes I've blundered spectacularly. So it gives me great pleasure sometimes to share where I've messed up so that you don't make the same messed up. Sometimes I've hit the rake. It's so hit in the rake. Like, the rake, and I'll be like, ding! Yeah, sometimes I've stepped on the rake and it hit me right on the head. And sometimes I've just lost deals over just the ego going crazy with me. I lost a deal, a big deal, and I always cry when I drive past that property because my ego just took over, and I said no when I could have been super rich by just paying extra 20 grand. I refused over 20 grand, which today is pocket money. Then of course it seemed like a lot of money, so it's one of the regrets that I say. So I teach you how to work on yourself to realize, look, the current sacrifice that you are making vis-a-vis the long-term benefits when you practice the art of delayed gratification. Delayed what? Gratification. Yes, it's very important in real estate, delayed gratification. So I share that journey, and I even talk about the specific house. There are about 4 or 5 blunders and big ones where I lost, and I don't want you to do the same. And then I go to pivotal real estate books. I've already touched on this. Some of my favorites, Cash Flow Quadrant. Some of by Robert Kiyosaki. Some of my other favorites, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Keller. Some of them, a book by a Black American multi-millionaire by the name of Peebles. It's called Peebles Principles. And one of the great ones that I love is by our very own David Ntsemele Ramachang Wapakalane, where he set up this massive shopping and residential structure facing the resistance as high as HE. He writes in the book how even Ramasire na Mokala. And I think Humpeni is having the last laugh because the second president who came after Masire is now the biggest resident in Pagalani, and many other successes are Pagalani. So it's good to have real life examples. And then if I invite people like Isaac Mulifinyani, they will blow your mind in terms of how easily they demonstrate how in a space of 2 years, by doing a few things, a few specific things, you can go to the status of becoming a multi-millionaire in real estate, especially if you have a pay slip. That pay slip is a weapon. It's a powerful weapon in terms of getting you started in real estate. If you know what you're doing, if you know the basics. Number 6, the program also teaches you decisive numbers that never lie. Real estate is about numbers. It's a numbers game. And those numbers never lie. You have to master the numbers. Some people buy alligators and crocodiles. Some people...
What's number 5?
Number 5 was pivotal real estate books and podcasts. No, that was number 4. Number 5 was real estate podcasts. Okay? Those other ones are books and then I gave an example of the millionaire real estate investor. and Kiyosaki's books. And then number 5 is podcasts. And remember, with each session, we bring a local expert to come and explain. Mr. Sisini has always been willing to come and explain. It's distracting when these are our agents from Mopon. They're busy giggling when I'm talking. So now these are our agents. We have another company which rents out property and assists the public in getting the real estate they're looking for. Obviously, we encourage them to give them internally first, and then only go out there when we realize it doesn't meet our strict buying criteria, which I'm going to teach you. Strict buying criteria. The decisive numbers that lie, we talk about yield, we talk about return on investment, ROI, we talk about the 1% rule, we talk about how you apply the capitalization rate, the cap rate, we talk about, actually it's a total of 34 numbers that are very, very crucial if we're going to master real estate and to know how to apply them. But I also try to help you. Out of these 34, there's actually about 10 or 12 that are very, very crucial for your real estate journey that you need to master for you to succeed. We also cover the issue of bankruptcy, because it breaks my heart to see that every time you grab the advertiser or even the government gazette and you look at the matter between, most of those names, Kibo Sehoko, Kibo Kagiso, Kibo Mogobe, Kibo Rasebotsa, Kimainasitswan. Why is that? Why is it very rare to find Bo Ishmael there, to find Bo Goldberg there, to find Bo Jonathan there, to find white names, Indian names, and non-indigenous names there? The reason is very simple. We fall victim to our own ignorance and our refusal to learn. We're stubborn, and I'm including myself in this list because I had to fight with myself to get where I am. We stubbornly refuse to learn. We stick to our own systems. A typical person, an average Motswana, will just be happy with that degree that they get from university, and they will just be happy with maybe attending 1 or 2 courses at work, when they could easily catapult themselves to great heights by adopting an attitude of continuous learning, where you resolve to attend every seminar, every workshop, every conference in the field of interest. And one thing I encourage my real estate mentees to do is to attend these things. And Mr. Ketshabile is my witness. We keep bumping into each other at the conference and the seminar. You know, sometimes I'm a speaker there, sometimes I'm there to learn, and and he listened when I told him, attend. You know, you cannot afford to miss. You cannot afford to reinforce the knowledge that you are getting from this program. It gives me great pleasure to call the Managing Director of Sunshine Properties, Mr. Shayan, to come forward and share with us to talk about his real estate journey in Botswana, and also maybe to share why he believes that learning and things like this, mentorship, is a good idea.
Hello, good morning. I was very lucky to listen to Mr. Mogobe now. Now I'm very scared. I learned so little, and how I got into all this. I have to attend one of his classes before I really do my next investment. Actually, we are very lucky to have a person like this who is very experienced at teaching the things and trying to promote real estate in Botswana. The second thing is we don't enough appreciate is our country, Botswana, because very few people realize it until they go out and see other people living in the continent or outside the continent even. The democracy, which we take it for granted, is not easy. It's a sacrifice of many people. And you all will be voting on 30th, I presume, and please cast your vote wisely and use your rights. And you are, maybe we don't appreciate enough. I saw, because I do deal with a lot of people very critical about it, but that right is very important. And I hope you do things wisely and get us the next government, which is good for all of us. That being said, let me tell about myself. I can talk because my wife is not around. Okay. There are certain influences that bring us to a certain point in our lives. And afterwards we use those influences, we don't know those influences are there. When Mr. Mogobe said, come and talk about your journey as an entrepreneur, I said, what? My journey as an entrepreneur, what has influenced me to get into this? See, my dad was a professional, he was very happy to be employed as a professional. He was a senior finance manager, and he always used to say, hey, when I came to this city, that one was 1 pull-up per square meter, and now it's 2,000 pull-up per square meter. I never bought it. And he never bought anything. He was very cautious, like any accountant, he's very cautious. And these stories, I said, every time my only question is, why didn't you buy it? Why didn't you buy it? Why didn't you buy it? Okay, so I think that got ingrained in my brain, saying, I won't do the mistakes my father has done. Okay, at one stage in your life, you are critical about your father and thinking, oh, he doesn't know anything. Of course, now I know that he knows a lot, but he was very cautious because of me, because of our family. He has to run a family. Anyway, once I explained in detail how I landed up in Botswana and how we took certain decisions to stay back. In those, I want to only point out at one thing. Generally, to invest, to become an entrepreneur, to become somebody self-employed, you think you need a lot of money. You don't need money at all. You don't need money at all, and I can tell it with full confidence and experience. What you need is two things: courage and determination, and what is it called? It's called delay of pleasure. Okay. What you can do today and what you can do tomorrow, if you can sacrifice your today for tomorrow, you are there. Let me explain how it is. See, there was this, I met this gentleman in Zimbabwe airport sending off somebody, and he said, what did you do? I said, I was already qualified professional and this, I want to go back and all that. He said, why don't you try out this thing and that thing? I'll give you a partnership, because I was never employed by anybody. Partnership, immediately accepted me and said, okay, partnership is good. But the salary he was paying me was 1/3 of what I could have got as an employee anywhere. So there, what I did is, I sold my present for future. I said, okay, let me become a partner in this, and let me work hard, prove myself, get my shares, then improve the company and improve the value of the company. And that company was called Radiators Botswana. Anybody from Francistown will know that there was a company called Radiators Botswana from long time, 1963 or 62, when I was not yet, must be 1 year old. Okay. Then that gentleman, Mr. Trevor Hodgkin, gave me this opportunity, and then I was working for 5 or 6 years at 1/3 the salary which other people were getting. Other people were riding nice, decent Toyota Corollas. I was in this Hilux going around, easily able to switch into Deloitte or PwC and become an associate or something like that. But my dream did not sink me there. Okay, so this is one thing I'll tell you. I am just sharing my experiences. Don't take it as a law or anything. If you learn something from it, good. If you say, okay, this chap has wasted his time, that's also good. Okay, this is my experience and this is my life, and I'm happy with it. Next, after some time, after maybe a couple of years, there was one house for sale at a very, very decent price in Francistown. Any of you from Francistown here? None of you from now? Oh, you are from Francistown. Okay. You are from Francistown. Wow. Okay. In Francistown, next behind wheels there was a house. This house was generally we thought it was a nice house and all that, and they were selling it for 200,000 at that time. 175,000 or something like that. Then I said, no, we have to buy this house. We have to buy this house. This house should be at least 250,000. He's selling it 175,000. And my knowledge about Francistown was very poor by that time. Just we arrived. Then I went and put a deposit, and the gentleman sold it to me. And we had the first tenant. First tenant said he heard that there was a suicide in that house and the ghost is still around. We didn't know about that. We just said, oh God, you got a 250,000 full house for 175,000. We jumped and went and bought it like an idiot. Okay. And then he says, I was lying down, the ghost was sitting on the edge of the bed. The bed was rising and falling and raising and falling. This was ridiculous, and I was not afraid of ghosts at all because I'm worried about my repayment. Okay, I would have gone and stayed and argued with the ghost and stayed there forever. I wouldn't have given up the house for anything. One ghost or many. Okay. So this happened, and then what happened is, okay, the ghost was there, this guy wants to move out, I had to give his deposit back, I had to pay next month. Then each month was like hell. We were going through hell for payment. That 1,750 or 1,600 we used to pay. We were making very little money in those days. Everybody was making very little money those days. But everybody was drinking Coke because Coke was cheaper. Everybody was going around with a 2-liter Coke bottle. So that being the situation, then we found a telecom company which won a contract for redoing the BTC for something and all that. And they had a staff of 15 people to stay in a 3-bedroom house. They didn't know about the ghost and all that. Then we just said, okay, come. We just took the deposit and then gave it off because we were bleeding. And there were so many people, the ghost had no place to stay. There were 15 people in 3 bedrooms. The clothes were hanging all around, and there was so much halla that the ghost must have been. See, ghosts are just people dead. An intelligent person dead will be an intelligent ghost. A stupid person dead will be a stupid ghost. That's what I believe. Okay. That being said, here I am telling you about. See, we make mistakes, but how do we correct our mistakes? After 3 years, everybody forgot about it. That contract was finished. Those people are gone. We put a new paint to the house, and we gave it for 2,500. We were making 500 out of that house, and then we made 700 out of this house. And somebody offered us 475,000. We sold off that house and got out of that house, and we made 200,000 in 2 years. Okay. So don't think you can enter into things without challenges, but don't think you can get out with money without problems. But face them. Okay? That is what I learned from it. The next thing I can tell you is, see, there are a lot of things which I have already spoken with Mr. Mogobe, and it's there on this thing. And there are certain things which are not there. I will just touch 1 or 2 of those things. When there was this land allocation of Somerset West in Francistown, there was a lot of land. Now it's a A1 highway on the left-hand side. There's a huge development there. And in those days, nobody was taking that land, and the city council was sending circulars. there's land here, is anybody interested, put in your application and all that. So one day I said, okay, let me put my application, because we were running a foundry. We were running non-ferrous metals foundry also there. And we said our metals were, the copper, we didn't have enough space for it, and so we just had a foundry. So we went and put an application for expansion. We might need some land, so then everybody was allocated land, and on allocation you have to pay 4,000 pula. So we paid the 4,000 pula, like everybody else. Everybody else paid 4,000 pula. We also paid 4,000 pula. But the only difference we made from other people is immediately on, I said, oh, I paid 4,000 pula, I am dying now, what should I do with this land? Okay. Everybody said, oh, for 4,000 pula, we got 5,000 square meters of land, let us just leave it, it's just 5,000. But for me, my 5,000 was like, I can't let my 5,000 not earn any money out of it. I put a fence for another 2,750, and then I ran around the town saying, I have land, do you need to hire land, do you need to hire land, rental? Everybody was saying, does it have water? No, it doesn't have water, but do you need water? Does it have electricity? No, it doesn't have electricity. Then I got a company from Gaborone which wanted to park its trucks. They were paying me 4,000 pula per month. So all my crying, all my running around, which people thought was absolutely stupid, because what can you do? There is no power, there is no electricity, there is no road, there is nothing there. Okay. So then these guys came in, they were a big company in Lobatsi, and they were putting their trucks in. Then they were putting their trucks in, and they were just parking their trucks and paying rent. It was good. And by the time, after 1.5 years, they said, now you put the deposit, now you have to put the original amount of 40,000. I had my 40,000 already, and much more. So we just paid off this thing. We were one of the first people to go and run and pay, because we didn't want the land to be taken back. And that was worked out well, because today we put it, Mr. Reg is there, and we have some other people renting the open space as a scrapyard. They pay good amount. I don't want my competitors to sneeze. Seize them. Okay. And we are making fairly decent money out of 70% open land and 30% built up area. And we said, okay, one of the best investments, because all we paid was 44,000, out of which 4,000 was the only payment really made, and 2,750 or 2,800 was for the fence that we have made. And the balance has all come from that land which was empty, which everybody had. See, when you think, oh, that guy made money illegally. That guy had his uncle as minister, so he made money. That guy won a tender because he had some relationship. In every country in the world it happens. In spite of that, in spite of all this, in spite of the challenges, in spite of the favorism, nepotism, corruption, everything, I believe we have, in Botswana at least, honestly you can make money. Still we have at least enough room for 70% of the people to make money honestly. Don't start getting digressed and saying, oh no, that guy, you know what, he came with a bucket and then what he did. No. The bucket guy did what he did. There's a guy who is not come with a bucket who has done what he has done, which could have been an honest, ethical way of earning money. So I do believe there's enough room for that. Okay. So don't get depressed, don't get saddened, don't get disheartened. That's what I think. Okay. We follow as a group every rule in the book of Botswana. We say, this is your country, make your rules. We are there to follow. If we can't exist within those rules, we get out. But I don't want to bend the rules for me. I don't want it. So that is the second thing I would like to tell you. And lastly, as I was always telling you, see, entrepreneurship doesn't require money, but dedication and your approach, your mentality, these are the things which are important. And in real estate I think I already told in the interview, see, real estate is it good? Does it make you money? Does it not make you money? Depends on you. Okay. Suppose there are two girls, okay, this is for men, or two men, this is for the girls. Okay. One is handsome, he can spend money on you, he has got style, he's got this thing. And other guy is quiet, he is knowledgeable, he is educated, maybe he has got some ambition, maybe he has got some dreams. If the girl goes for this guy, that guy will depend on her for life. Okay. If the girl goes for the other guy, maybe he will feed her and look after her, and both of them can make a fortune. Why she should be left out? She also should join in the journey to make fortune. Will be there. In property also it's like that. Don't go for something flashy. Where is the inner strength? Where is the inner value? Where inside, where can you draw that value out and make money? Don't look at the facade and say, broken. Not like that. You say, what is behind the facade? How much do I need to fix it? How much do I need? Taking the value out of an existing property or a potential plot, and how to turn it into your dream of money-making machine is yours. Okay? This is what I would like to tell you. This is the last point I would like to tell you, and I think I have shared enough, or else I think you'll overtake me as a millionaire. I told you. Thank you all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
So what I do my best to bring a fresh mind and a fresh, person like this, an entrepreneur, and I do my best to bring people with a track record and proven. I give this my chance, I try to bring people with a proven track record to come and influence my mentees. Ketshabile, I think this is a good time to ask you just to be at large, to come forward, to share your story, to share what your impressions were when you started with the mentorship program. I want you not just to share the glossy stuff, I want you to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. Go ahead,
Dumela. I think for me, what I've learned.
Tell them who you are first.
Okay, with the introductions, my name is Brian Ketshabile. I'm the founder and director of a company called Brain Tech Services. Brain Tech Services is a leading hygiene supplies company owned by Botswana. We are the only Botswana-owned company that is playing amongst multinationals in terms of supplying specialized chemicals for the food services industry, for the healthcare, the chemicals clean and linen supply. We are also supplying chemicals that are used in the hospitality sector. The ship is Brain Tech. And if you can look around other chemicals that do supply that, there are multinational companies. So that's who we are. We also own another property management company. It's called Mahuma Facilities Management. We own a company on property. So I came to Mogobe, 6 months mentorship, and I'm happy this gentleman is also excited to join it because whatever you are looking for, you will find it here. Debt. And I'm sure many of you can relate to it. Motswana la ho bua ka sekolo to kore ke stress la wa kanya go tsa loan ya 5 million wa kanya la re protect wa hama. But actually there is good debt, and these are things say we are going to learn. Currently as we are through our property management company, we are excessively looking for that debt. Because now we are busy developing properties. We are currently developing in Mogobe. We have acquired 2 plots. Renal property 6 currently. We bought 2 pieces of land in Mogobe. We are developing the first one. When we are done with that one, we are going to another one. But we are still buying. So if the property we are here, we can buy. Okay. Ideally, yes, I came to this program because I didn't understand how property worked. One, correct property in the first instance. What you look at. Kana wa na level hona le di price tse mo tse tlele di bona mo ba advertiser kana tse mo Facebook nya tse ke di number ra hela le skala na le ditsenya mo tlhogo unless if it makes sense. The issue is, the concept is numbers never lie. I get once you know the formula that's why how I assess a property where the level, you will not look at say the advertised one. Say the advertised one gets a motor kisa. It will follow within the 5Gs. As a highly motivated seller, that's what we call them. Or a property momoto elongore. Tota wa ho rekisa. Luena, era how level the number I will may I get a loan? I'll be able to pay back this loan. I get. And this comes from the formula more programming. Number 2, this program also works on your mindset. Believe me, being rich or wealthy is in the mind. The minute you start working with your mind, or just cultivating your mind and opening it up to wealth, you will see that wealth will come to you. At the idea to go, I appreciate 20. I'm so addicted to property to a point longer. Even when I'm driving, it's process me property you know how when I set a open we because that's how it works. Or the minute now you start absorbing this information, watching these podcasts on air, Bigger Pockets, Mogobe Nuggets, and others. Lemo Facebook, Tagara social media. We all know what social media is, how we scroll. Normally, high low level content, they say content are property. A lot of property content will start coming, right? That's how you learn, and you are going to refine your skills and be able to analyze the deals. So that is the best starting point to go on a program. Guys, after learning, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy. Like overnight, you are going to be a multi-millionaire. Already, if you are a multi-millionaire in your head, it's coming. Just give it time, but it's coming. Because why Kiria? I've learned the concepts. Kiria applying. Now, what's the practical work? Where now you have to give people offers. Not every offer you give out will be accepted. Let's remember that. There is a book, I don't remember where this came from, Mr. Mogobe. This gentleman, now on average, he does 100 100 offers.
Of the rules.
Eh.
Real estate riches.
Riches, yes. 100 offers. With the target they are worried, at least the 10 will be accepted. And those 10 are good deals. Well, now what you need to do is don't fall in love with the brick and mortar. Fall in love with the numbers. Mr. Shem was also alluding to it. Issue is just getting the right numbers. Because Oscar level of property was no, it doesn't work like that. More property. You look at the numbers first and be ready to walk away if the numbers are not working. Because the minute when the numbers are saying no, you are not in the matter between.
That's when poverty arrives.
So the key principle is the numbers. Be ready to walk away. No matter what I'm to just walk away because that deal will never work. I get. What else can I say? Tota nam here to go a lot of Botswana. Tota getting into this property thing. For me, obviously, I get one that means competition or regularly property. But what can we do? Competition is good. Competition is good. I mean, another guest on the Resising is quite good land in terms of how he got me to be very passionate about land. He got to explain how we need to utilize land or how we need to look at land. Because what happens on board, like I can refer to Plotabo is, hotel lads or take a plowing fields. There is what you call development plan. Development plan but I don't body will approach. You know approach I take a plowing field. Can't go in 5-10 years, you have an industrial area or a CBD. So let's say carry here a plowing field, not here industrial area. So those are the things that you need to appreciate, and you also learn through the course. For a level, you don't just look at what is written on the certificate. Also go further and research in the future. I get. So I get to share lesson. Anything else, but I'm inspired that you are joining. Believe me, because it's worth it, and you are going to gain a lot.
That there will be people with doubts and with, I think, that niggling little voice, maybe it's not a thing for me. So I would invite those who have those little questions, niggling little questions or doubts to ask you. And I also have two of my other mentees online, but I think maybe I should. But
I simple emiti report. So get tell ya ga Mr. Mogobe na le kana ke ora I can so now I can share only the good about the program. The bad that will also learn from is program you read a lot. There will be a point where you are given books, or in the next session, so that you do presentation. It also refines your presentation skills and hell on the public speaking, like I'm saying. It's good for you. Reading is very important. And be very picky about the content that you consume. Because the content that you consume, if you consume bad content, you are going to get, or they are going to manifest in your life as bad results. So you learn affirmation, I'm a multi-real estate millionaire. It's very important, and be shameless about it. I've realized what about Botswana, we are too conservative. We are not deliberate. We are not intentional. We feel how can someone learn a millionaire? Forget about those things. Hey, no, forget about those things. Say it like you mean it, because it's important for your life. We are multi-millionaire real estate investors at the end of the day.
I'm not a believer like Mr. Mogobe, Baba Nali, Baba Sensho, that they should ask questions. I'm interested in knowing how you access local market trends to real estate, because what I've experienced on my journey is that, which is the reason why I ended up signing up for the entrepreneurial and then now this one, was that we get a lot of advice that is international, and some of it doesn't apply to our local environment. So in my search of what is on the ground, I find it very difficult. Like you're saying, more of my aid becomes instinctual, because now on Facebook, I'm going through what's going on in the real estate, but it's not enough, And then yes, there's a I think she sells the data, So, but my house and not you want somewhere where you can start. Where do we find information where we can tap into and just grow from that?
All right. Okay. In terms of getting property data, for me, I get it from Yonea Hasetebe. I also engage. Okay, once you get into this industry, you also need to make contacts, right? Networks, very good networks. You need to have networks, more covalent, real estate agents. You need to have a consolidated network professionals around the real estate industry. So I get my information from podcast Mogobe, and then there is an annual report FNB also. So they publish it in the newspapers, so it's free. You get it from there. And then most of the real estate property companies, they keep that data. You have good relationship, you just walk in and ask, okay, where are you going? Have that interaction. Where is the market going? They are usually happy to share that information. Even performance here. I think Lorna Go Smart Value, it does release those reports. So you can get them there.
Hello everybody. Well, my question goes like this. So as a property owner, how do you deal legally with connectors? So people call connectors. Like
who are connectors?
Agents.
Like agents, yeah. Agents.
Okay.
Your question tells me you need to join the mentorship program, because we bring industry leaders, and Manake, in the interest of full disclosure, she's one of the people that I helped to get into through Angel Network Botswana. So I'm a minority shareholder in Go Smart Value, so I always have to declare my interest. But she recently had a deal with GCC, Gaborone City Council, the rates to pursue the rates. And then also she does give a monthly report to banks, and she's got this information in her fingertips. Who influences them to realize how hungry the market is for two-bedroomed units and studio apartments. And I think her report said 7,000. There were 7,000 units needed now by the market, which means that if you find a piece of land and if you've got a good deal working, like right now we're trying to put 72 units, go extension 10 now, we're working on, we just got approvals, we should be on site next year. because of this information you get. But you'll be getting these people, you'll be encouraged to network with them. We're going to form a WhatsApp group. Once you've paid the deposit, you become part of a WhatsApp group. You can ask for contacts depending on what you need. You can share information on deals that you have. You just share the numbers without mentioning the names of the owners and the contacts. So, what was your question? Where is the information? He answered. Okay. Yeah. So the information is out there. It just requires you. So which is the real estate investment. Yeah. Sir, there you go.
Thank you, sir. I think you said you have about six properties, if I'm not wrong. What I want to know is, in your first property, was your first property paid for by the bank, or was that from your own pocket? And how did you pull that off?
Okay. He's a magician, this man.
That's a fairly easy one. Mr. Mogobe, Kantelo mentioned your payslip is gold. For me, my very first one, through the bank. I was fortunate enough to spend about 11 years in the financial institution. I worked go Botswana Savings Bank Lenkamo. And then I went to National Development Bank. But hella, I acquired it through the bank. And then from there, throughout. Because you are using what you, and this is something you are going to learn. You use what is called equity of the previous property to buy another one. That's why we are chasing a lot of debt. You can actually get equity from the existing property to buy the next one. If the numbers agree, property you get another one where it's not bonded. You also go back to the bank, you bond it to buy another one. The Mets will show you how to do it.
He's absolutely right. That's why I call property the gift that keeps on giving. You're going to learn this one. This is one method. Equity release. We're going to learn another method called BRR, which is buy, renovate, rehabilitate, rent, and repeat. And refinance and repeat. So you're going to learn all those tactics. But do you love reading, sir? I love readers. Because what happens with readers, if you become an avid reader, you join a course, you become a teacher. You don't only teach yourself, you teach others in the class. And you find that your knowledge increases exponentially. But how you'll find a million excuses. In fact, 1 million is not enough. 7 million excuses not to read. So there's a disease that I try to cure you, how join a program, which is excusitis. That is an incurable disease where you're giving excuses non-stop. So if you can cure excusitis, then we can deal with another disease called victimitis, where you're also a victim of your boss, you're always a victim of the weather, always a victim of your age, always a victim of anything. Some people can use that to victimize themselves. So once we kill excusitis, we then target victimitis, and then you are able to deal with this thing and to go further. Right? Not too little. Yes, sir.
And that the Lisore Kimwa Tovaratang America Lema America. You might has a little Hataka ba contribute to wins at America.
Indeed.
Our Mahatico Mara was a last Parade pele sokola mme e rile go thatoga ga bone e be nna batho ba ba neng ba rata go share le go ruta ba bangwe tse ba di itseng bone ke batho ba ba kwalang dibuka thata ke batho ba kwalang ka matshelo a bone le ka tse ba di itseng mme Mr. Mogobe tiro le dirang ke tiro e tura thata gore mo lehatsheng la rona re na le batho ba ba tsweletseng ba
Don't be shy, don't be shy.
re na le batho ba ba tsweletseng ba le bantsi mo lehatsheng la rona mme bontsi ja bone ga se batho ba ratang go share ga go ruta ba ruta ba magolo ba bone hela ke ga gola ka ngwaga 2013 ke ne ke tharabola thata ko ofising ya Mr. Sabela ke le ka go ithuta mo go ene ka gore na tota ke sa ke nna mo go ba ke se ke nne mmereki mme o na supa a le busy thata go ka nna le nako le mannana yo ba go ithuta mo go ene one time ke ya go kopana le ene mme o na shika zo go la mela bantare nako nngwe o eletsa go dira so se tshwane se ise mme a ke se base sa me ke mmone ga
May the good Lord rest his soul.
ba le ke ne ba ta go kopa go botsa kere mo go ke za mo potsong ya ntate ole gore ha o isone mmereko o sena pay slip ditsela tse dingwe tsa gore o ka gona mo real estate ke ditsela di
I thought you'd never ask. Joy na mona re tshologe re phuthologe re go bolela. But yes, I mean you need to incorporate first of all. If you can manage to get that piece of property in your company, then the same way, and if you have cash flow, either you are an entrepreneur on a cash flow, you can demonstrate your cash flow potential. You can then just prepare. It's a matter of packaging, you know. The one thing that I encourage to do is to develop a good relationship with your banker, your relationship manager, banke. If necessary, one of the assignments I give you, Cohort, when you come back next time, 3 bankers and and relationship managers who cultivate their relationship with the board. They have a budget. You don't know that? They also need you. The bank needs you. The only thing that has blindsided us, they've made so much money from non-interest income because of the charges. I'll deposit, I'll charge you outside, I'll charge you, I'll check our account, I'll charge you, things like that, which is terrible. But remember, originally banks were making money through lending. They steal that element. And the guy di bala di bank, and that is super, you are likely to find a good RM, and they are growing their property side. So you establish a relationship. Bala let's mo pondim. Yeah? They have these black cards. Of course, they can take you to lunch, or if they can't, you take them to lunch and establish a relationship. Success and wealth is about networking. It's about relationships. So to answer your question, yes, there's a methodology. As an entrepreneur, you can use your cash flow. You can use your businesses to fund your projects. And that's why you're always asked, bring your 6 months bank statements. Now, every bank, this 6 months, 20 out of date, you know, things like that. So those are things we talk about, some of the books we've done about. There's even a book called Real Estate for Dummies. So even dummies can become rich. And a lot of people who are super, super rich, they are smarter than you. You sit down with what they were, doesn't even know basic things. It doesn't know who the president of Tanzania is or something. And yet it doesn't know basic information or information that you call easily available information. So you don't have to be smart to succeed, but you have to be prepared to learn. Hello? Hey, Madumel. Already to against Chaba Gakwan, about 40 people are listening to you. But I already man. Eh, babole la roman le go batla go ngatogana le bone eng.
Okay, so
former mentee Mogobe, graduate April this year. My journey started last year in September. It was an interesting journey. September, we decided that we are going to go into this real estate mentorship program to further educate ourselves on the real estate business, because we had already started something. Then sometimes it will go right, sometimes it will not go well. So, the journey is going to be very interesting because you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be given books to read before every session. Please read, understand, start applying bit by bit. Because in everything you do, you have to be consistent in what you are doing and at least start. The most important thing is that you are going to start. So for us, what we did, because my husband and I were on the mentorship program, it was easy because we come with these crazy ideas, and then it will be easy to convince him. I have this idea, what do you think? So from the class, it was easy. But what you're going to do and what you're going to do as you're on this mentorship, you're going to challenge yourself in a way you've never done before. You're going to move away from your comfort zone in a way you've never done before. With those you're going to get that is good debts. And you're gonna see yourself progress at once or reach. In addition to that, Lerumo is gonna expose you to a lot of good people that are in this business, and you're gonna learn so much. So currently, my husband and I, we pushed a lot, like in a way we didn't even expect. Between last year and now, we've done 10 units studying materials.
Round of applause.
I think before June, we would have added another 10. Maybe June,
another 10. Sorry, Chandapia, but they missed what you were saying.
Okay, so between September, when we started the mentorship program, to now, we've done 10 units studying materials.
Wow.
And then we foresee another 10 coming before June, July next year. So almost a year and a half or so, they're about 11 units. Because you know what? Part of the program is that you're going to go to the banks. You're going to go to these real estate companies. You go banks. You're going to establish relationships with banking. So when we got that assignment, we took it seriously. There's no more. You know that lunchtime that you spend wasting with your friends hanging around? We used that time to go around in the banks, and we established a good relationship with the banks. So to an extent, you can just call the person will tell our welcome around, tells us what our vision is. We can call him and say, this is what we are seeing on the market, what do you think? And then he'll say, this is how this one would work. As part of this meant what you're gonna learn, you're gonna be organized. You know how another house you are renting out, how nice. You have this unit to Simon 35 how bank account. So you're gonna establish yourself and you're gonna be so organized. You're gonna go into deals knowing what you want, and you're gonna call the shots. And the seller will either take it or leave it. It was interesting 2 weeks ago, we met with the seller. The seller wanted us to run according to what they wanted. We told them, no, the 1% rule is failing here. The yield is failing here, so we can't. You need to drop down to this number so that it makes sense for doing this as a business. Not doing it, no, this is property,
The numbers must make sense. If you are selling a multi-res and the rental is a making sense compared to what you are selling, you just walk away. It's your money. You're going to pay the banks for a long time. So do things that are making sense. But otherwise, have fun. Have fun. Enjoy it. Do what he says you must do. Don't just say, read. Have a routine. For us, it was 7 to 9 every day without fail. Friday, we'll take a break. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back. 7 to 9.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, kupa rumpuele le baba joinang baba sabale. Umpuele le bono o ba bolela hore ke tsega jang ha ba sa ithute.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone else, is taking the Sunday off. For the loan money we are paying, or we paid, or you are going to pay. It's very sad if you commit all this time to educating. For us, Cohort, we didn't know of that because we wanted to learn as much as possible. Yeah, so you can imagine he's with us from 10 until 3 for almost 5 hours. He has taken his family time, and now you come unprepared. I mean, he wants you to be rich. You know, it's very very important. We tell a who is willing to share.
Yeah.
It's very rare to find a Mozona who is willing to share. Most of them who knows how they can make money, they just hide their secrets and just move on the material. So please take this seriously. Read. If someone has done it somewhere in another part of the world, what can make you fail? I mean, this thing has been tried and tested. So read. Come and share with others. It's also a platform where you're going. Ask yourself what happened.
All right, the line is not as good as all that. I have to say goodbye, Chandapiwa, and say thanks to the doctor, your husband. Once that PhD, can I audio a PhD?
You'll be submitting mid-year next year.
Okay, so maybe...
So by end of the year, you'll be a doctor next year.
Wow, congratulations in advance. But I'm going to invite the both of you at some point to come and talk to those who've committed, but it's most likely to be next year sometime.
No problem. We'll be more than happy to come. I mean, like I say,
okay. Thank you very
much. Whatever you know, because you become better at it at the end of the day when you're sharing with others.
Go parlumi tailor in a thunderous round. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. You've been very generous. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Kiligilo have validation. It is to one physical ex-mentee and 2 virtual ones. If you want their numbers for more, we'll give you in due course. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about joining this program? I'm 12. This is good. I think we're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. We're going to go places together. Okay. Does anybody of you want to come forward and share something as we close? One final message, maybe a vote of thanks for today. Emma Gadina.
Dumelang hape. Okay. Not personally, I'm excited for this journey. Mr. Mogobe is in the entrepreneurship cohort, and everything that has been said. Yes, reading, rabal. I want to do Ketshabile. Because the second week what I represent. So I just want to encourage, especially by they are on. I can have more group mentality. How we are going to commit. I just want to share just a little bit of my story. I was very interested more real estate, I think around 07, and then I happened to have an exchange program in France. So I asked my parents to save me some money. And then officially 2012, hey, I unleashed hell. Don't think you know what you're doing. You need an experience. Because now I think you can keep rich dad, poor dad, how you get excited or rich dad, poor dad, situation in America. And how we can't you are going to find challenges that are unique to your journey, and you need somebody who can say no. I think you can try this way. We have a lot of people who are very negative, so you need, especially family members, I'm sorry to say, not is there are ailment, but who are the experiences. How your parents learn or real estate to that, hey, what's the loan? How about the woman that I would say loan to one? I can experience I have shield, but here you're talking with people who have been on that journey, who understand what's going on, and they're going to catapult your success. What is something say it would have taken 20 years for you to learn. You will learn it within a space of 2 months, and 8.5 you will now I was stuck paying loan in 5 years. 5 years so I only had 10 kg rice. Compared to loan but you don't come with stories, they want the money. You can be very ambitious, but the steps in between, they matter. So just have to say for you, that 8.5, interest there 200,000 for X number of years, and in between that time there's nothing that you can do or expand your income. So it's the 8.5 or 200,000 or more. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those kind remarks. So welcome once again to the pond. Feel free to stay for lunch if you want, or come another time. And that brings our session to a close.
This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond.